Okay. Um, if you if I want to get a fretless guitar, what kind of wood, strings, pickups, etc. would go well? Hmm. Okay. So basically, I'm not a guitar maker. I'm not even a guitar expert. I mean, let's be honest. I just play the damn thing and hope for the best. Um, fretless guitar is in a lot of ways uncharted territory. So I can only tell you what I have here and what works for me. I started out with a homemade converted old Ibanez Jam um, with obviously a wood pick, a wood neck, and a wood fretboard. Um, and then just ripped out the frets, put a little bit of glue on top, filled the holes, and off I went. And the problem is that if you do that, you'll end up having a very dull sounding guitar because a lot of the high end of the tone comes from the frets. So in recent years, I only used metal fingerboards. Like on this one, it's an aluminum fretboard, I think. Um, See, already there. I think. I have no idea about this kind of things. I just play the guitar and hope for the best. Anyway, so it's a aluminium fretboard, and that makes a lot of difference. Also, I use metal picks. 90% of cases on fretless guitars. That gives it even more high end. And then, of course, you'll be needing pickups which are not as mid-rangey and or bassy to further um, counteract that issue. So you have a frequency response that will not, especially in a two guitar situation where we have one fretted guitar, one fretless guitar, where the fretless guitar won't be taking a backseat so much in the sonic soundstage. Yeah, and pickup wise, I have the my Good Tone pickups, which is a company from Switzerland. Good Tone pickups signature pickup here, the same one that I used on the regular 7-string Soul Tool model, and this is a Sustainiac. Most of you should be familiar with what an EBow does. An EBow creates this magnetic field on one string, which vibrates the string. I hope I didn't say anything totally stupid here, but an EBow makes the string vibrate, so you get endless sustain, but it's only for one string. And this Sustainiac here does the same things to all, in this case, 7 strings at the same time. At least that's the idea. I haven't been, I haven't had the time to really get into that and really try it out and, set it up so that it will do exactly what I want. I just did one recording session with it to try it out on the new Counter World Experience record where I played a guest solo. So this is my only experience so far. Mm. And yeah, fretless guitars. I really think it's not really about, woods, strings, pickups, that's so subjective, unless you spend 4K on a VGA fretless guitar, which is a great guitar, you know, then it's always going to take a lot of experimentation. Um, I think the more important issue is if fretless guitars are really for you. If that is that a path you wanna go down, because it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of adjustment in your playing and technique to to make it work. Because it's just a totally different way to approach guitar playing. That being said, what I also spend a lot of time with is string guffs. Basically, the thicker the better. On this one, I have 11s, which is like very thin for me on a fretless guitar. I've been on a regular tuned fretless guitar. I had 14 strings. Yeah, a lot of times. So that's like Stevie Ray Vaughan territory. And that helps counteract the biggest issue that you have, which is the sustain issue. Just an example. And there it is, gone. Wait, it's gone. So you have to find ways and techniques to make up for the loss of sustain, especially on the top notes. It's not an issue on the bottom notes. Don't know if you can hear that, but lots more sustain on the bottom notes and the bottom octave than higher up the fretboard. So what I usually do is play in a way where the higher up I go in pitch, the more of it is played with harmonics. For example, for the high notes, I would use natural harmonics and then slide them up and down the fretboard, stuff like that. Anything really to not having to go all up the fretboard and just having these crumbling notes to deal with. All right, next one. How broad of a view should you take when you take inspiration from other music? How much should you let other music influence yours? That's a good question. Now, I think that there's nobody on this planet who, works in such a solitary musical environment that he hasn't heard a single piece of music by anybody else in his whole life and just works from a place within himself without any influence from other people. That's impossible. So we all are, all of us, our musical personas, so to speak, are basically the sum of the stuff we've listened to, the music we've studied, and the music we've worked on before. Yeah, and of course our own personal experience. So I think the more the better. The more different styles, the more different genres, the more different musical colors you've been exposed to, and maybe listen to really in depth and analyzed a bit. Sorry, the better, because the the broader your palette and the more colors you can choose from, musical colors, so to speak, the better a songwriter and the better musician you will be. I think that's just a fundamental truth about making music. Obviously some people, work, have like one or two favorite artists and that's everything they ever studied and learned and, listened to. And then they go, okay, so this is the death riff, and then this is the cynic riff, and this is the blah, blah, blah. And I've seen this before, and for some people it works. I'm not saying this is you can't work like that. Just for me personally, that's not really the way to go, because I always work from a concept, as I've said before, and I don't like to be, so easily cornered. I don't like music as well that I can immediately link to what's come before. Even though it may be really, really good and well made and well produced or whatever, the music that resonates with me personally most is music that stands on its own and where I can maybe trace the heritage in a way, but I'm not inclined to say, oh yeah, this sounds like Bob, this sounds like Bob, this is the part that sounds like Bob. That just puts me off. I'm always looking for music that is unique in a way. And how can music be unique if you're making it? Well, by having a unique viewpoint, a unique palette of musical vocabulary that you'll be able to draw from. How do you get that? By listening to a lot of different music, basically. How do you see the future of metal music as evolution And what do you think about the Egyptian metal scene? Oh wow. The future of metal music, I have no idea. I mean, you tell me. um, but what do I think about the Egyptian metal scene? I think it's awesome. I played there in April, and man, that was an amazing experience. I mean, the hospitality of the fans over there was breathtaking, and the enthusiasm at the show. The hospitality really just blew my mind. I think the Egyptian metal scene is great, and I hope to do more shows over there. I'd love to come back, play for you guys, and all I can say is you guys have my deepest respect. Okay, next one. Which are the bands who introduced you into the metal scene, and which are your favorite ones? Hmm. Um, Good one. So long ago. Well, nothing out of the totally ordinary, I guess. So, Rush, Maiden was one of the first bands, probably the first metal band I've listened to. Um, Death was a big influence um, from the beginning. I was huge into Dream Theater when I was younger. Meshuggah, yeah, stuff like that. Metallica. Um, Nothing groundbreaking here. Oh, Sabotage. Yeah, Sabotage was one of uh, the bands for me. I still love that band a lot. Last albums you bought? Oh, okay. I'm so bad remembering that stuff, but on top of my head, I think the latest album by Chelsea Wolfe, Abyss. Mm, the Scott Walker and Sun collaboration. Um, the latest Devin Townsend, Z2. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. What moment in your life made you realize that you wanted to be a professional musician? I don't think there was just one moment or something like that. I always kind of knew that this is what I was going to do with my life. Because my dad used to be a musician um, before I was born, and he kind of quit music when I was on the way. But there was always music in our household, and I was always surrounded by that. And later on, he had a record shop just selling vinyl records, and so I had a very intimate relationship with music from day one, I guess. And I've never had a different plan in life for myself, to be honest. I never considered doing anything else, and I've never done anything else than music. So there was not one moment that say, "Oh wow, I want to be a musician." It was a thing that was clear to me throughout my life that I'm doing music. That's what I'm here for. So